I know. Listen, they're very clear about what they want to do, and they're making no excuses or bones about it. They overload that area. They have got 5 or 6 men in there, and obviously they're working on it every night. And if you're working on something every night, then you get very good at it. And then you're, as an opposition team, you're stepping in to try and take that on. So definitely. Most teams now are obsessed with retaining the ball. I would say Cork kick the ball longer more than anybody else on their own kick out. But if you're going to do that, you need to be good. You need to be good. Like, you need to have that physicality, and you need to be good on the breaking ball, and they are. And then on top of that, then whenever they do want it, because of the amount of bodies that they put into that area, you have to match that. So whenever then the ball does go 50-50, that transition moment is on, because it's very hard to have defensive cover when you've got 8 players in the one area trying to deal with a breaking ball scenario, and you have to match the breaking ball if you want to contest with them. So it was good in the second half. We did turn the table a lot coming down the stretch, and that obviously was significant in us getting the game back to level. But it's hard to keep turning that screw against a process that is very well worked on every single night in training.
Yeah, just finally for me, where are we with Conor O'Donnell?
We're in a good place with Conor O'Donnell. He's reintegrated into training over the last week. We'll build him up steadily and gradually. We're delighted to have him back training full time with the team, and it'll be small steps initially and training, let alone game exposure. But obviously, he's a very good talent, and we want to make sure we get it right, because he has had a couple of setbacks over the last year, and the last thing we want is another one.
Jim, you touched on it there, the turnovers, the heat, the crowd, when the red shirts started, like red arrows coming forward, made life very difficult for you guys.
Yeah, no, listen, I said earlier, we probably had more turnovers today than we've had the whole way through the provincial championship. So, that is certainly something we're going to have to look at on the back of the performance. But again, I'm not going to be overly critical of the players. They've put a hell of a lot into the last number of months. They've got over the line in the league. They got over the line in the Ulster Championship, and we had a really good result and performance last week. We'll have to take this on the chin and move forward.
We thought, like everybody, it was going to be the same story that we've seen so many times from your guys there. When you got the squeeze on and towards the end, I think it was 4 in a row to level it. It felt like it was only going to be one winner at that stage, because we've seen you sides do it so many times over the course this year.
But Cork were dangerous all the time in the game. They had those moments, the whole way through the game where they were asking questions, at pace. And when you are pushing, the score that happens in the last minute, those types of things do happen. So yeah, proud of the sort of the way that they clawed their way back. But ultimately, we're leaving empty-handed, and that's tough for the boys downstairs.
Turns things nice and interesting, Jim, just in terms of it's probably the first big result of the championship, and it makes this group particularly interesting going into the final weekend.
No, absolutely. And as I said earlier, we wanted to win today, and then we wanted to go and win the last game, and that hasn't happened. So we just have to refocus now on Clare and try and get our performance levels right for that game. And then, as I say, in terms of qualification, hopefully we get the result. And then in terms of topping the group, it's not really in our hands anymore. If Cork won the next day, Cork are top of the group, and that is an advantage. You get a 2-week break. So I think everybody, Tyrone, Cork, ourselves, everybody will be focused on that, trying to get the right result to put their team in the best spot and get the best recovery.
Thanks.